Athletics World Weekly 2013 opens the new year in Madrid, Spain with the running of the 47th San Silvestre Vallecia 10-kilometer classic. We then check out the oldest and largest of the Saint Silvestre races, the Sao Paulo Brazil 88th edition of the Internacional de São Silvestra 15-kilometer road race. Trier, Germany, and the Trier Sylvester lauf is another stop on the International IAAF New Year's Eve road racing circuit. Cross-country action from the Netherlands as the 32nd annual Sylvestercross is yet another New Year's Eve running classic. And Ximanen, China is the setting of the massive 50,000 starters Ximanen Marathon. All that and so much more on Athletics World Weekly for the first week of January 2013. Sao Paulo, Brazil is the last stop of the old year and the first stop of the new Athletics World Weekly year as the granddaddy of the Saint Silvestre Road Races, the 88th edition of the Internacional de São Silvestra 15-kilometer road race kicks off. The elite ladies race start precedes the men and mass start by 15 minutes. The women's early pace was set by the Brazilian pair of Marilyn dos Santos and Larissa Quintana, but by 5 kilometers, dos Santos was gone and the mass of Brazilians, Moroccans, and Kenyans moved on. The 40,000-person mass start along with the male elite runners creates an impressive 15-kilometer long festival that marks the end of the year in the streets of Sao Paulo. The Sao Paulo race course reliably offers many obstacles over 15 kilometers, such as numerous hills and a start temperature of 23 degrees Celsius mixed with 76% humidity. The men's field was all about 3 Kenyans and a Brazilian. The Kenyans, Kipsang Rotich, Joseph Apiomoy, and Mark Carrera were the favorites from the gun. However, the Brazilian great hope, Giovanni dos Santos, was desperate to bring the title home as Ethiopians and Kenyans have won the last 2 editions of this Brazilian classic. Back on the women's side, although the early pace was set by Brazilians, Kenyan Maureen Kipchumba broke the pack during the infamous uphill climb at 14 kilometers. The 24-year-old Kipchumba, like her male compatriot Kipsang Rotich, lives in Brazil year-round and races in all the big South American events. She takes first place today by a comfortable margin of 29 seconds with a winning time of 51 minutes 42 seconds. Tatiana de Carvalho was the first Brazilian to finish. The enthusiastic Carvalho finished 6th overall in 54 minutes, 10 seconds. Back on the men's side, it was the 24-year-old Rotich who was able to break away from his compatriots at the 14-kilometer mark, although not as dramatically as Kipchumba did in the ladies' race. Rotich, like Kipchumba, has been living in Brazil and taking many of the biggest prizes on the South American road race circuit, including this, his first win of the San Silvestre Classic in 44 minutes and 5 seconds. He finished ahead of Apiomoy by 9 seconds, leading an all-Kenyan podium finish. Dos Santos picked up the best Brazilian finish, taking 4th place overall. More than 40,000 runners participate in the mass start at the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium in Madrid, Spain. The 47th San Silvestre Vallecia 10-kilometer run is the premier European New Year's Eve celebration. On the men's side, Ethiopian Taraku Bakele struggled with a Spanish horseman to the final 2-kilometer section where he took control of the race to secure the win in 28 minutes 29 seconds, 16 seconds ahead of Spain's Ayat Laminson. Coletta Burka won the women's title in 30 minutes 59 seconds. The southern Spanish city of Valencia is also on the New Year's Eve calendar in the form of the 29th edition of the San Silvestre de Valencia. The start features approximately 12,000 runners participating in the odyssey that covers 4,800 meters starting and ending at the Town Hall Square. This year's edition was won by the 34-year-old Moroccan Lazri Abdelgadefour in 16 minutes and 12 seconds. The 26th edition of the Sylvestre Crevillentina 10 km was won by Eritrean Siam Kiflum in 29:06. The 26-year-old defeated Moroccan Aberdeen Elassere by a wide 39-second margin as he finished in 29:45 per second. Soest, the Netherlands, and the Sylvester cross-country 10,400-meter race is our next Athletics World Weekly event. For many athletics fans, this race is considered true cross-country as the beautiful course features a variety of terrains along with the sand dunes start and finish. Moroccan-born Dutch citizen Khalid Choukoud, along with the Belgian Sofiane Bouchiki, were the stars of the 10.4-kilometer sand dune and forest cross-country race. Khalid, the current Dutch cross-country national champion, placed second in last year's edition of this race. Khalid was able to take the grand prize in 34 minutes and 56 seconds with relative ease. He placed almost a minute ahead of the Belgian Bouchiki in second. Trier, Germany is the next Athletics World Weekly stop for the Trier Sylvester lauf. The senior ladies competition featured a number of Kenyan elites. However, German Karina Mackenhaupt, second in last year's race, was out to rectify matters this year and reclaim German dominance in the event. The 21-year-old Olympic 1,500-meter semifinalist took charge of the 5,000-meter race with 1 lap to go and proved she was the class of the elite field. Although the course record of 15 minutes 15 seconds set by Dutch-Kenyan Lorna Kiplagat was not in danger, Mackenhaupt secured the 5-kilometer victory in 16 minutes and 5 seconds. The men's side featured 3-time race champion Moses Kipsiro of Uganda, while the local hope was Arne Gabius, looking to be the first German winner since 1996. However, this was going to be difficult against a field packed with East Africans. Right from the start of the 8-kilometer race, a lead pack of Kenyans with the returning champion Kipsiro trying to make it 4 wins in a row ran hard. As the 1,000-meter laps in the city's Old Town peeled away, Gabius made a gallant effort to stay in the mix and control the race as the crowd roared. But unlike the women's race, the local hero faded against the international field, and by the final 2 laps, the contest again became a duel of Uganda versus Kenya, as Alex Kibet, Patrick Arang, and Bernard Kiplagat all challenged for the lead only to falter. By the final lap, Kipsiro still had Dickinson Kumatai on his side. However, the last 200 meters is where Kumatai had to give up the challenge as Kipsiro surged one last time for the win and recorded his 4th consecutive victory in 22 minutes 41 seconds for the 8-kilometer course, with Gabrius hanging on for a 7th place. Xiamen, China, and the 11th annual Ximanen International Marathon is the next Athletics World Weekly destination, as more than 70,000 runners were on hand to participate in the 8 a.m. start of a number of athletic disciplines ranging from 10 kilometers to the full marathon. Despite the other races, all the excitement appeared in the full marathon, as perfect running conditions and a host of international athletes were on hand to establish a new course record for the 2nd time in as many years. From the gun, the record was under threat as a mass of runners ripped through fast 10 and 20-kilometer splits. However, it was around the 37-kilometer mark where the race was really decided, as 5-time veteran of this race, Ethiopian Nagari Turfa, was passed by debut marathoner Kenyan Paul Lanyangat. Lanyangat seemed to be in control, as Tarifa was trying to run through a bad patch. However, in the final straight, with less than 3 kilometers, it was Tarifa who was able to respond with a sudden burst of rejuvenation as his late race muscles came to life. With this resurgence, Tarifa built up a quick lead of 10 to 15 meters. The often injured Tarifa has not run under 2:11 in 3 years, and many thought his career was in the past. However, this display of athletics endurance guarantees his return to the international stage in a big way. Tego was able to sustain his speed and went on to record his first Ximanen victory after 5 tries and an event record time of 2:07:32. Kenyan Paul Anyangat was second in 2:07:44 for his debut marathon. On the women's side, Ethiopian Fatima Saido took control of the race at 28 kilometers and left second-place Kenyan Eunice Jakuri behind. Saido never threatened the course record and sailed to a solid 2:27:35 marathon victory.